Ladies and gents, this is my Yamaha Smax. I'm going to be putting the exhaust on. So there's the exhaust I'm going to be doing. I got to pull some panels off, all this, and I got to unclip stuff from here as well. I'll be pausing in and out as I do the work. So ladies and gents, I had to pull the cover off here, this side cover off. Just watch the clips. You got to pull these screws out over here in the front. There's 1 and 2, and then you got the one guy in the back over there. And then with this guy, hard to see on the camera. There, that guy right there. This guy, which connects to that piece in the back. You gotta literally lift up on the top tab and just pull it out gently, and she jumps right out. Anyways, now we've got access to the exhaust at the bottom. I'm gonna take those bolts out, and yeah, I'm gonna take the ones off of the swing arm over here. Right, this guy here, 1. And then these 2 over here, 1 and 2. Okay, I'm gonna have to put you guys on pause again because I'm one-handed and I know the video quality isn't the best, but we'll get her. Okay guys, so I've loosened this guy. These 2 bottom ones, 1 and 2. And I pulled the header bolts off. So those are 12 millimeters. You're going to need a wobbly and a long extension. And these guys here are 14s. 1, 2, 3 are 14s. As of right now, that's all that I can see. Okay guys, so here's the exhaust that I pulled off. I got it over there. I'm going to pull the O2 sensor out. Sorry, it's on my bushel of grapes of yard waste material. And there's the exhaust, guys. Big, heavy exhaust. This is what she looks like without all the exhaust stuff. And there it is, right there. The exhaust gasket fell out, so I'm gonna have to put that in. It's right there. On the cowling somewhere, you'll see it. Anyways, somewhere here. Guys, terrible video. I'm not your fancy guy that shows you all the bells and whistles, but anyways, there's your exhaust gasket, which I'm going to be reusing. Okay? Ladies and gents, so this is the O2 sensor. That's it right here that I pulled out. And it is a 22 millimeter wrench that I use to pull it out. And when you put it back in, it doesn't have to be super tight, just snug. Okay? And there we are. Now, I don't know if there's any part numbers on here. Oh, there's some numbers here. Let's see. It's a Denso 59C 8592A 149100-2390 and 02D26. Ladies and gents, here's the header. There's the pipe. There's the plug that I'm going to be removing with a, I believe it's a 6 millimeter. Anyways, I think it's a 6 millimeter, something like that, piece. There's the inside of the header. It actually looks really good. Really, really good. Ladies and gents, and there she is with the O2 sensor installed snug. I'm going to put some dielectric grease on here, and I put just a little tiny touch of anti-seize on the threads in this. I don't know. Some people do it, some people don't. I prefer to do it. You know what, if I ever got to take it out, it's easier to come out. It won't hopefully rot inside of there. So ladies and gents, I MacGyvered this to choke the pipe to hang it up because I was having a hard time getting it bolted on. So I just tied a little string to the exhaust, held it up, and then I put the exhaust gasket back in. Right there. Right there. The exhaust gasket's actually on the... You could see it right at the top in that opening there where the exhaust pipe meets that. I bolted the flange onto the head bolts, and I actually anti-seized the exhaust bolts as well. I know, like I said, some people say whatever. I do it my way. I put the anti-seize. It makes it even go on nicer, and then after whatever happens down the road happens. There's the connector. I put a little dab of dielectric grease on, and I'm going to clip it in to that plug right there. I'll see. I'm not going to be able to do it with you guys watching because I'm going to need my other hand, but anyways, it goes into that plug right there and you push it until it clips. There's a little bit, I put quite a bit of dielectric because when it goes into that female end, it's going to take some as well. Hey guys, so one thing that I did notice is the cable is a little bit tight. So that horseshoe bracket is where the cable goes in, and when I put it in, it creates a little bit of pressure on this O2 sensor. So what I've done is I just unclipped it and I rested it on the outside. It's pretty tight, it's not going to go anywhere, right? This thing's not going to go anywhere, but it's not in the holder, which I'm not crazy about, but anyways, it's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to do anything crazy bad. It doesn't really have room to move anyways, and I've got the, there's a sleeve over it that I've got resting up against the rubber anyways, so it'll help to keep it good. Okay? Ladies and gents, and there is the exhaust. So it's got the noise baffle in the back that's removable. Wonderful carbon fiber exhaust. So that's the bracket to mount. Definitely not the prettiest, but whatever, it works. It's aftermarket. Beautiful springs, clean. If you go the other way, you might scratch the pipe. I put a little scratch here and there in it, so I just flipped them the opposite way. There's still a gap in the plastic, so hopefully that doesn't melt it when it gets hot. It shouldn't, but it may. We'll keep an eye on that. Worst case, I may have to trim it or something like that. And then, yeah, and then I'll show you the bottom again. I know you guys saw it, but I'll show you again. There's the bottom with the sensor and everything else. I'm going to start it up right now for you to hear. Alright guys, so here it is. First start with the new exhaust. I'm going to fire it up. Oh guys, sounds good. Sounds really good. I'm actually very happy with that. I'm not going to even take the baffle off. Checked for leaks. Anyways, it doesn't sound like there's any leaks. I'm going to feel for them, see if I feel any hot air anywhere. Nothing. Nothing. At all. You know what, guys? It sounds fantastic. Moisture, I guess, coming through there because it's not perfect, but anyways, it's all good. She'll do her thing. Once she warms up, that'll be the end of that. here it's really cold where I am. It's not snow weather yet, but it's getting there. I love that new smell. Guys, the exhaust is even nice too. It doesn't touch the fender. It stays right away from the fender and all that. It doesn't touch anything. It shoots right to the side. So that's roughly the direction.